Jeff, Jim, and Carmela, Part 37. The water pressure was strong, and Carmela and Jim proceeded to hose each other down like two school kids with a water hose. They did not have any towels, so they got back into their railroad clothing without drying. As they started out of the room, a man was under an automobile in another room changing the oil on his automobile. He had a clear view through an open door of these two crazy Americans in the nude hosing each other down. He looked like he was in shock, and the oil from the crankcase was draining out and onto the concrete floor with the catch container at arm's length away. Carmela and Jim began to laugh and were thankful something was breaking the intensity of escaping from Turkey. Carmela could not resist asking the Bulgarian girl how she knew Jeff, but when she started to ask, she would hesitate before she opened her mouth. Jim was wondering the same thing, and he now knew Carmela enough to know she would not ask the question, so he asked for her. "How did you know Jeff, and do you have a name?" The Bulgarian girl did not hesitate. "My name is Sophie." Jeff was doing some work in Bulgaria, and my girlfriend became acquainted with him during a recording session when she was doing backup vocals for a session Jeff was associated with. I met him when he gave Lisa a ride home from the studio one evening. The three of us started hanging out together, and one evening Jeff told me Lisa was not who she said she was. I believe Lisa was falling in love with Jeff, but one evening I came home to our apartment, and Lisa and all her belongings were gone. She vanished from the face of the earth. I attempted to convince Jeff to tell me what he knew about Lisa and what I did not know. It took me a long time to get over Lisa leaving like that, and the only thing Jeff would tell me was Lisa was okay and was a valuable member of one of the most efficient intelligence agencies ever devised by man. That's all Jeff would tell me, but he did give me a photograph of Lisa standing in front of a bakery in Jerusalem. After Jeff departed Bulgaria, I never did see him again. He would send me a card on special occasions. He mentioned you, Carmela, and told me he was going to marry you. Whatever happened to Jeff has saddened many people in the spy game, because Jeff was the best there was in that profession. When I saw you and Jim depart the locomotive, I thought I was seeing a ghost of Jeff, but Mehmet had alerted me to be prepared for a surprise when I saw Jim, Jeff's identical twin brother. Sophie hugged Carmela and told her she was lucky to discover Jim, who could bring Jeff back to her. Carmela knew she and Sophie could become good friends, and she was hoping she could see her again under different circumstances. Carmela and Jim got into the automobile driven by Sophie's two male friends. As Jim opened the door for Carmela to enter the back seat, Sophie hugged Carmela again And then she hesitated, but now Sophie had tears in her eyes as she kissed Jim. She told Jim the sight of him was bringing back good memories of her, Lisa, and Jeff. Jim could feel Sophie's love, and he knew the story of Jeff, Lisa, and Sophie was more than just friendship. But with all that was happening, with all the intertwining of lives, Jim was thinking Sophie's involvement with Jeff and Lisa had to be more than just friendship.